it isn't just money here. I'm talking about the Cardinals trying to recruit guys, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's not just money. And one of my concerns about this whole thing, first of all, I mean, Bill DeWitt and John Mozeliak are going to have to come up with whatever the market price if they really want Aaron Nola, if he's in fact available. Because I'm like John, I'm like you, I'm like a lot of people. I still am not convinced he's going to leave Philadelphia, but we'll have to wait to see how it plays out. But he's obviously willing. He wants to go to free agency just to see what's there. And I think he knows that the offers will be just remarkable, perhaps in terms of what he expected, say, 2 years ago when he became a free. Hey, when I become a free agent, I wonder how much money. He's in line for a huge payoff. So. But they're gonna. But the point is, like, and I got to put a list together for sure. But I go through all these things. I read so much, and it's like, so many of the teams need multiple starting pitchers, and a good percentage of these teams are the kind of teams that have the franchise that have the attitude is like money's no object. We'll just pay whatever it takes. So Bill DeWitt and John Mozeliak and maybe Ali Marmol, because I don't know who would be recruiting. They're going to have to win the battle on two fronts. First of all, their offers got to be as good, if not better, than any number of high-spending teams that will not gulp. They will not wince. They will not grimace at the price tag. Where I think the Cardinals will get a little queasy, even if they wind up making that offer. It's not going to be fun for them, and it's because it's out of their character. So they gotta be right there at the finish line in terms of the contract offer. They can't be, the Cardinals have pulled this stuff so many times through the years. It's like after the fact, well, we made what we thought it was an outstanding offer, but they took someone else's offer. In other words, they finished second or third. What is the point of even bothering? And I haven't really kvetched about that in a long time. And I told Mo one time, I said, you understand. I said, in case you haven't gotten any feedback on this, let me help you out on something. And I wasn't saying that to be condescending or a jerk. I meant it. I said, this is so many times now you've indicated that the Cardinals finished second. And I say, that actually just makes people more frustrated. Because it's like, well, nobody cares. What's the point of actually trying to win a recruiting battle financially if you're not prepared to make the best offer? That actually frustrates people more. It provides no comfort. Oh, well, they finished second. Isn't that great? Who says that? No one ever who's a Cardinals fan, right?
Exactly, yes.
So, it's again, this is not to say they haven't made some generous offers. Of course they have. But in this particular climate with these free agent starting pitchers, there are no discounts. You're not going to get the Cardinal Way discount. You're not going to get the baseball heaven discount. That time, at least for now, it could bounce back, but that time is over. That time is over. We're like in Jim Edmonds, 8 minutes after he's traded here from the Angels, he's telling his agent, make a deal. I love this place. I want to be here forever. McGuire the same way. And others through the years. It's a different time now. And so in addition to having to win the financial battle and to even stay in the game, see, that'll just get you a seat at the table if you're one of the 3 or 4 teams that financially are in the running. That you get a seat at the table. That's it. Nothing else. Part 2 is you're going to have to win the actual recruiting battle. You're going to have to convince pitchers who, frankly, probably will have multiple opportunities that at least right now will appear or will be more appealing to them. You're somehow going to have to overcome that and convince them that this is the place they should come. And, you can show them all the, I'm certainly respectful and appreciative of all that the Cardinals have won. All the championship flags, all the National League pennant displays, all those incredible Hall of Famers, all that. It's really meaningful stuff. But if you're a guy who's never played here, doesn't really have any connections here, and you have your choice to go to, I don't know, let's just say Yankees, Red Sox, Mets, Dodgers, Giants, Cubs, Atlanta, Philly, and I'm probably leaving some people out, but everyone understands what I'm saying here. Texas, understand what I'm saying. Like we all revere the history of this franchise and some of the incredible people and men that have had some of the greatest careers in the history of the game, and they wore the birds and the bat, and we love them and we love their memory. We cherish everything they did. It is a really, really big deal. It really, really is. But if you're a 30-year-old pitcher and you got your choice of about 5-6 different places where you're going to have a better chance to win right away, with a franchise that's closer to the World Series, a franchise that didn't finish with their fourth worst record since 1947, how do you win that bat? How do you win that recruiting pitch? How do you make that matter? Who's going to do that? Who's going to be the salesman? I mean, maybe they ought to hire Waino, and he can be their lifestyle negotiator. So I'm not even being flippant. I mean that as a compliment, because I'm sorry. Does Mo have that type of – listen, he's recruited free agents, but the Cardinals have not had as much experience doing that at a high level as a lot of teams this is sort of their second nature. Okay, who do we want? All right, what do we got to spend? No problem. All right, let's go tell them why he should be here. The Cardinals I'm going to stick with sitting at the table metaphor. They haven't sat at this table very often. They really haven't. It's actually been infrequent. So who makes the recruiting pitch? What, are they going to show a video? I understand that they do that. Well, and I'm sure it's really good. I mean that. I'm sure it's really good. The Cardinals are good at those things. And I think every one of these pitchers, according to John Denton, even Yamamoto will understand the illustrious history of Cardinals baseball, and it does mean something. But right now, if the decision's based on, who's going to pay me the most and where's my best chance of getting a World Series ring? Cardinals got to go 2 for 2 there. That is a challenging sell. I don't want to be disrespectful to them. I really, if you notice, I don't have, I'm leaving the snark out on this one. They got to go 2 for 2. And the only thing I'd say that would be like maybe the Cardinals would take offense at, and I'm not trying to offend them, I'm really not. Who's going to be the person that can close the deal just by turning on the charm offensive, being persuasive, being convincing? Where you say, "Hey, these people here, man. These are people that I want to work with and work for, and I'm really impressed by them." Like who's going to do the sales job? Who's going to do that? Who's going to do the recruiting pitch? Who's the John Calipari in the room, right?
Yeah, that's.
You know what I'm saying?
I know exactly what you're saying.
Mr. DeWitt's 81. I think Bill DeWitt III is an extremely smart guy that when he takes over the franchise, he's going to be very good at the chairman's job. Don't get me wrong. But is it going to be, or is it going to be the DeWitts? Is Mo going to be able to sweet talk and charm and, do the Calipari? Who gets the best recruiting classes now? I don't even know.
Dennis Gates is pretty good these days.
Well, he is. That's right. Thank you. Is it going to be Ollie?
Ooh.
Do you think Yamamoto even knows who Ollie is?
No.
No, that sounds mean. I'm not trying to be mean.
It's true, though. I know exactly what you're saying, Bernie, because as you're saying this, I'm going, not this guy, not that guy. There isn't anybody in the front office. There isn't a manager like Tony La Russa. There was not a Albert Pujols, Yadier Molina type player on the roster.
Waino, Carpenter.
Yeah, none of those guys
Roland,
are here.
None of those guys, man. Edmonds, listen. So what we're talking about is cachet. We're talking about gravitas. We're talking about those things where you walk into a room and you just mentioned, man. You go there was a time you go into Cardinals clubhouse and you see like 3 or 4 future Hall of Famers there, and you see probably about 5 or 6 future team Hall of Famers. And you see Pujols locker, you see Molina's locker, you see Chris Carpenter, you see Adam Wainwright, you see Scott Rowland, you see this, you see that, and that has pull. That has cachet. That has that gives you the weight of gravitas. And let me be respectful towards Goldie and Arenado because they deserve the respect. They've earned it. Okay, I really believe this. I'm sure that potential free agents, they'll look at that and they'll say, "Look, man, Goldie and Arenado have." These are 2 of the best players of their era, and they're respected by everybody in the game. And they wanted to be in St. Louis, and that means something. I'm impressed by that. So that carries some weight. That's my point here. I'm not just trying to rip. I'm trying to be objective about this, but also not be Mr. Pollyanna, not being Fredbird.
Yes.
I'm trying to be fair with this. Absolutely, Arenado and Goldschmidt have that reputation that plays and that fellow players are impressed by. But, then you think of anything. So, I don't know about this manager. I don't know about, who's this pitching coach? Why is their pitching gone so bad? How come they can't make anybody better? How come, they get a prospect like Liberatore everybody wanted, and it's like, what went wrong here? Wait a minute, these are the guys that traded away Randy Rosarina? These are the guys, fairly or unfairly, because sometimes Cardinals get a bad rep. They gave up on Adolis Garcia? Wow.
Right?
Are they going to clean this up? Do they have anybody new making these kind of decisions? I mean, again, I'm going to come across right there as being like a jerk. I'm not being a jerk, but these questions must be asked. If not, then if somebody like me doesn't raise these legitimate questions, then I'm a coward. I'm gutless, and I'm really not worthy of having a job like this. And I mean that. I know that sounds very dramatic, but I really mean that. You can't gloss over that like it doesn't mean anything, right?
No way, because I'll just throw, you talk about Arenado and Goldie and how great they are and what, how great a player they are in their eras. So I'm sitting down, I'm a free agent. I'm thinking about coming to St. Louis. I'm in front of those 2 guys, and they're going to sit there and tell me, man, we loved it here. We're glad we're here. I would have to look across the table from them, Bernie, and it's not a mean question. It's a serious question. What have you guys won here since you've been here? And that kind of shuts the whole thing down, doesn't it?
It's legit, man. It's legit. They've won 1 NLDS. Now, Goldie and Arenado together haven't won anything. But Goldie in his first season, the Cardinals, got to the NLCS, and they petered out. But other than the fact they should have put up a better fight at that point in time, clearly the superior team was the Washington Nationals. And I don't care that they were a wild card and all that. That means nothing. They had a terrible record in May, but the rest of the season they were like the best team in the National League. And you look at who they were starting in the postseason, right?
Yes.
They were a team more equipped to win, to go far in the postseason, the Cardinals. But the fact is, the Cardinals got swept by the Nationals. It was kind of embarrassing because they just got smashed. I mean, they couldn't score. It was pretty ugly. They're 1-9 in their last 10 postseason games, 4-11 in their last 15.
And that wouldn't be a shot at them. It'd just be. And so if I do come here with you guys, what's going to be different? How are we going to win? Because you guys haven't been able to get it done, and the group hasn't been able to get it done. So what makes it better when I can go over, X, Y, or Z, get more money, and also, let's just say Texas is all night.
That team's more set up to win right away, to win big right away.
Yes. So, like you said, there is it's almost like a mountain hill for St. Louis to try and overcome to get somebody here. But that's their job, and they're going to have to find a way.
They really are. And, in one little bellwether of this, I scan these lists, especially ESPN, and you look at, all right, here's all the top free agents. What's the best fit? And not that I expected to see the Cardinals listed here, but it's still kind of stark when you read all these names of all these coveted free agents. And there's really not one mention of St. Louis. In fact, remember the Jordan Montgomery narrative? Oh, he really wants to be here.
Yes.
They'll really try to keep him and blah, blah, blah. You go to ESPN, there's a story. And again, does this mean anything? Is this some kind of factual confirmation? No. It's a bunch of baseball analysts who are very good at what they do, and this is their opinion. But their opinion reflects a certain view about the state of Cardinals baseball. And here's a guy that truly seemed to enjoy his time in St. Louis in Jordan Montgomery, but he also got traded, and now he's got a World Series ring. He wasn't close to that here. In fact, he was farther away from something like that than he'd never been in professional baseball. But anyway, all right, what's the best fit? Bradford Doolittle, Rangers. Buster Olney, Rangers. Jeff Passan, Red Sox. David Schoenfield, Cincinnati Reds. Wow. I mean, when the Cincinnati Reds are getting mentioned as a better fit than the St. Louis Baseball Cardinals, even if it's just a writer doing it. But these guys are legit. You look at that and you're like, I hope people realize what a tough sell this is going to be. And again, that's after the financial part.
Whew.
People listen probably think I'm trying to bum them out. I'm not trying, man.
It's reality.
If you want
here.
someone, if y'all want to listen to someone to BS you and basically lie to you, you got plenty of choices in our good market. But I can't be that guy. Not over something like this. When they have their fourth worst record in the last 77 seasons, and there's no good pitching in the pipeline. They are bankrupt of pitching, just about. And their two superstars are aging. And Nolan Arenado did not look like a happy man in the second half of last season. He was a very, very frustrated cowboy there. So, Yadier Molina's gone. Might come back. The sooner they can get that done, the better. Waino's had a wonderful, wonderful career here in St. Louis and as happy as could be to be a Cardinal. But now he's not a Cardinal per se, not actively. So, yeah, man, I said it the other day, whether we want to admit to it or not, the brand has been fading in the national baseball consciousness. It really has, as far as a destination, not a destination to watch a ball game. Because I think a lot of people from around the country, even around the region, they love to come here and watch baseball. They do. Joe Sheehan, even my gruff, cynical friend Joe Sheehan, he had never been to Busch Stadium. He loved it. He just loved it. And but I'm talking about coveted free agents in a thin market who are going to have choices of so many wonderful places to play. If your brand, which was one of the strongest of the game, easily, but your brand has been fading gradually, and then boom, this past year, I mean, your brand is weaker now, and that's unfortunate. But that's the reality of what happens when you can't do what you used to do in the postseason when you get there, and then now even in the regular season you fell apart. That's a tough sell right now. That's all I'm trying to say.